I'm the scat man. I'm the scat man.
We got international hockey. Oh, he's not excited about it at all. What's up? Oh, breaking news. He's got breaking news. What do you got?
I have breaking news?
I don't know. That looked like a
No,
breaking
I was
news.
just trying to retweet your tweet.
Oh, you're retweeting my tweet. Okay.
Yeah.
I appreciate it.
Giving us some more attention,
2014. 2014 was a long time ago, my friend.
Yeah.
11 years ago since, let's call it international. I know, like, the Spengler Cup people will be angry, but, like,
the best on best. Best on best.
Sure. But isn't it wild that, like, Connor McDavid hasn't played best on best Team Canada? Isn't that like a travesty in the sport?
So 2014, that was the Olympics?
That was Sochi. His draft year was 14-15, right?
Okay, because he played in the World Cup of hockey in 2018, I believe, or 2016 or 2018, one of the 2 years. But he played on Team North America, right? On the under 23 team. So, but yeah, I mean, the fact that hockey has gone this long without prioritizing this format has been absurd. But hey, it's back. It's here. First game tonight, and we should all get excited about it. I just hope that the players are just as excited.
It's a tough one to pull on the wife or the girlfriend, too. You're like, okay, Super Bowl was Sunday, and you're like, and I got to get together with the boys on Wednesday night, maybe Thursday, too. Like, it doesn't kind of stop. So, really excited for this, but you bring up that point. How excited are these guys?
Yeah.
And I know that you really don't know. I don't think anybody really knows what kind of effort you're going to get, especially early.
Yeah.
Like, the effort's probably going to ramp up as the tournament goes. But, like, what can you expect and what you know about? There's so many unknowns in this. Like, what are you expecting? What kind of hockey are you expecting early? Like, this total's gone from 5.5 to 6.
Yeah, I think early this game and even the next game between the first four, like as 4 teams pair off against each other, you're probably going to see a lot of intensity. You're probably going to see a lot of adrenaline, and you're probably going to see a lot of excitement. I just wonder how long that lasts throughout this tournament, because I think the environment that they're playing in, Bell Center, Montreal, that has always, been one of the best atmospheres to play in. And maybe that'll help, ignite the players in the game when the crowd's going nuts. There's a lot of energy in the building and the players can feel it and play with it. And so I think early on, you're going to see fast-paced, intense hockey that, look, you got the best players in the world for each country playing on the same sheet of ice. I would hope that there's a lot of pride on the line between both teams and both players, that they're going to want to be at their best. And you give these guys this stage, this platform. I think it's important for the players to understand the sort of fallout that could come from this, or sort of the momentum that can be gained from this tournament leading into next year's Olympics, where if you show people that want to be excited about this, that you are just excited about this, it could do great things for the game of hockey.
Outside of betting, a person who's never been to the Bell Center, never experienced hockey in the Bell Center, what can guys like Mitch, like going from Scotiabank to the Bell Center, like how big of a difference is that environment going to be?
It's massive. It's massive. And I've always said that people always ask me, where's the best place that you've played a hockey game? And I've always said Montreal, Toronto versus Montreal in Montreal. Best atmosphere I've ever played in, because the place is just absolutely electric. I don't know what it is about that building with the fans on top. It feels like they're on top of you, but the noise just gets magnified to another level. And I think, in a game like this where, people talk about the gimmick tournament that it could be, regardless of what it is and what it feels like, anytime you're in an environment where you can get extra energy from the crowd on a night where you maybe don't feel like you have it, it could be a massive boost either way.
That's exciting. But another thing, like, do you think like there'll be a tendency to call more penalties to see this 5-on-4? Like, those power plays are like, people want to see that power play. People want to see Makar to McDavid to McKinnon. Like, you got Crosby as the bumper. You know what I mean? Like, that's the PP. Like, could you see things being called very tightly in this tournament?
I hope not. I mean, I don't think that the referee should change the way they refs just because it's a game that has this many good players in. I think ultimately it's, for me, when I watch a game, it's easy to call a penalty. If it's obvious and it's an infraction, call it. Who cares what stage you're on? Just don't. I just don't want the referees to impact the game in a soft way where they're not allowing the intensity that we want to see play out in this type of tournament. So, yeah, when you see that Canada power play practice the way that it did with all 5 of those players on the ice, you get excited about that because it's the first chance you're actually getting a chance to see them all play together, and we see them play against each other for their own teams and the stuff they do with their own teams. But the fact that they're in the same unit, look, could go one of two ways. They can absolutely, blow it out of the park where where they're just they can't be stopped and they're pulling pucks out of the back of net, or they could struggle because you're having guys play different positions than they're used to just so that they can be on the ice together. So it'll be interesting to see how these guys adjust to it.
Po DGen says hit that like button. I appreciate it, my friend. Everybody there. Good to see the pumpers on Wednesday.
How about there was a comment I saw up here. Where is it? It was from Rich. No. Yes, Rich H. I decided to start Josh and Carlos' first day 4 Nations of the tournament Googling the explanation of juice pumping.
that should be in an incognito tab. That's I wouldn't. That's not safe for work.
Pumping the juice.
Amy says Makar MVP. I think there's a little value on the defenseman for MVP in this tournament because they're going to be playing like Makar could be playing 24 minutes, whereas the forwards, like, we're seeing it in the points market where, I mean, McDavid's 220 for 2 points, where he's usually minus 105. Yeah. But a lot of that just has to do with all these lines have to play. You know what I mean? Like, that fourth line's going to not just play 5 minutes. It will probably play 9 minutes.
Well, especially this early in a tournament, the last thing you want to do is put your players in a position where they feel burnt out.
Yeah.
So, and there's enough depth on this roster to allow, equal playing ice time for everybody. And the game will call for how much each guy plays, right?
Yep. Po DGen back on it says, I like Fox 2 for MVP. I bet Fox today for MVP. I just like it. He's at the top at that power play 1. Like, he's giving to McDavid and
Hellebuck 1501 for MVP.
I know, but like, you're so worried that they're just going to go goalie 1, game 1, goalie 2, game 2. You know what I mean? So I'm worried about it. I was excited to bet like Gustafsson for MVP. Not even sure who's starting there though. So they'll be switching it up. Love McDavid today. Let's get to it. We're going over 6 minus 110. We're square. I don't care, but it's gone up. It was at 5.5.
We're square and we don't care.
Don't care. I really don't care. Like, this tournament could go if we see a ton of scoring in this game, which is very possible.
Yeah.
These totals could go to 6.5. Maybe not for the Finland games, but like, you'll see 6.5 for Canada USA. It opened at 5.5. It's a really tough thing to price, and because it's low, we're getting crazy numbers on points and shots. So on the other side, let's go Willie Nylander for 3 shots minus 110. He's PP1, but like he's PP1 with Hedman at the point where Hedman's just usually feeding to Kucherov, and then Lucas Raymond on the other flank. It's kind of an interesting power play where he's not on the Forsberg-Pettersson power play. It's just Willie. And his 5-on-5 line is Mika Zibanejad and Ricard Raquel. Like, it's Willie's line.
Really?
Yeah. Like, he's driving that line.
Yeah. I mean, guy's got 33 goals. Why wouldn't he be on the first power play unit?
It's
But again, it's positional, right? Raymond's made a living, in the Ovi spot on the power play with Detroit. Pettersson's sort of a setup guy. Forsberg's on the offside. So I guess they're prioritizing those guys over Willie, but still doesn't make sense.
Yeah, it looks
I think Willie's making a case to be the best player on that team.
I think I bought him for MVP at 30-1. I'm like, oh, should I get him to lead the tournament in goals at like the same price, or points at a little higher price? Just go MVP. I think that's a Willie move. But like, bro, you're playing 3 games and then that could be it. 4 games with a final. Like, the possible outcomes in this tournament are pretty varied, no?
Yeah. I mean, would it completely shock you if Finland was the team that won this tournament?
That they sneaked into second and won in the final?
I mean, it would shock me, but again, it's hockey. We've seen, it's not like we haven't seen Finland, medal in these different tournaments.
Yeah, Finland needs to play their 3-1 games in order to get going. I don't know. But without their defense, they're just missing a ton of bodies back there. Yeah. They don't have a lot of experience. But interesting to look at this Sweden power play. So power play 1 is Hedman, Nylander, Raymond, Zibanejad, and Joel Eriksson. And then power play 2 is Carlson, Forsberg, Raquel, Pettersson, and Bratt. So to me, that looks like 1A and 1B. So those are going to be pretty split up. Where as opposed to the Canadian power play, like that, the McDavid one, like it's McDavid, McKinnon, and Crosby, and Reinhart and Makar. That's going to get 65% of it. They're not going to pull those guys off the ice quickly compared to PP and the PP2's Theodore, Konechny, Marner, Point, and Stone. One line I'm really excited about, Carlo, obviously the Reinhart, McDavid, and Marner line. Reinhart to lead the tournament in goals. He's pretty priced accurately, I feel, like as the number 2 goal scorer, anytime goal scorer, but he'll have plenty of opportunities being the net front guy too on that power play. We keep going. Cale Makar. How about Cale Makar for an assist at -110? I don't know. It's like I said, he could be playing 22 minutes. Like he could play big minutes in this tournament. Really sad that we're not seeing Quinn Hughes.
Yeah.
Versus Makar later in this tournament, but it's for people who haven't watched a lot, and I don't even get to watch much Colorado games. How special is it to have someone that to turn over the offense? You know what I mean? To lead that offense. He's a unicorn, no?
Yeah, absolutely he is. I mean, we're talking about Quinn Hughes here, right?
We're talking about Makar. I mean, both of them are, but
yeah. Well, I mean, look. Makar can drive an offense himself from the back end, right? That's what makes him special. And Quinn Hughes, I mean, look at the season that Vancouver's had. And you would think that they'd be falling off of a cliff with all the crap that they had to deal with. But Quinn Hughes has been the guy to help lead the way. And he's been out for the last 3 games, and he had to pull himself out of this tournament. And they were still winning games. So he's a difference maker. He's an absolute difference maker. But both of these guys can easily, and the reason why they can easily drive the offense is because their ability to skate and move the puck, right? All of it starts from their decision-making from the back end. So, yeah, it's sad that we can't see both of them head to head.
Makar and McDavid, 2 best skaters in the tournament?
Willie's a pretty good skater. It's hard for me to
Who was the best skater when you were on the ice? We're like, they always talk about like Niedermayer was literally maybe the most underrated defenseman. Was he up there?
Niedermayer?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure. But I mean, Cale Makar right now has to lead that conversation. The thing that I get mesmerized over as a defenseman that used to play the game is I wish I could have skated like Cale Makar. And I actually thought I was a really good skater, but when I skated, I felt like I had to put a lot of effort into it. When he skates, it looks effortless. And there's no panic in his game because even if he does make a mistake or turn the puck over, he knows his skating can get him right back into good position. So Rich
H saying Sweden's number 1 goalie isn't here. I beg to differ. I think I think Allmark and Gustafsson are the best Swedish
More
goaltenders.
than capable, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. They both had some blips so far, but they should be back. Connor McDavid. Someone already mentioned it. You want to talk square? We're still square.
Yeah, but this is great value.
2 points.
Yeah.
220. He's going to play 19 minutes. You know what I mean?
But even if he doesn't, every time he's out there, he's going to probably make something happen, right? I know he doesn't have Draisaitl on his wing that, usually guarantees those points, but, playing with Marner and playing with Reinhardt, like Reinhardt's a shooter. Marner's more of a playmaker, but McDavid just makes stuff happen. And you think that this is a guy too that might play with a little bit more motivation on his shoulders because he's the guy that's been driving the bus to get this, him and Crosby, to get this best on best going.
And Crosby might not be 100% either, right? So he might have to shoulder a bit more of that load, no?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty excited. I'm really excited to see that line. I'm really excited to watch Mitch Marner and Connor McDavid play in a line together. Like that's something you'll never see again.
Right. And it's not just them two. What about McKinnon and Crosby? These guys are best friends. You don't think they've been waiting a long time for this? You don't think they're excited about walking onto the same ice together where they get to fist bump each other and pump each other up on the bench and chirp each other on the bench too as teammates? That happens.
Exciting. I'm super excited about this. I think if we do see a lot of scoring in this game, if things are really open, I think you're going to see adjustment in the totals going forward. To sitting at 5.5 now, moving up. This total's on the rise, but we're on the 5 and we're at the 6 -110. Nylander 3 shots. That's I think that's a great spot for Nylander because he's got to drive that line. Makar for an assist. He's at the top of that circle, and he's like, do I go to McKinnon? Do I go to McDavid? Doesn't matter. You'll find the score sheet. And then McDavid for 2 points at +220. I know he's not going to play 23 minutes, 22 minutes, but you're going to get an efficient 18, 19 minutes out of him. And hopefully there's some power play time. So before we go, last thing, how difficult is it for these guys to come together with just 2 practices? To implement a defensive system, to buy into it, is kind of just go do your thing. Let's just how do you game plan?
Yeah. I don't put too much thought into that or too much focus into that because we're talking about the best players that play the game. These guys know how to play the game of hockey. And when you really think about it, how much does one coach's system differentiate from the system that you're playing? Not very much. I mean, there's no system out there that players either haven't played or are caught off guard and playing. I think the adjustment would be just the positions that guys got to get used to playing, that is, unused to what they're used to playing. So I don't put too much thought in it. These are great players. They're all coachable players. They'll figure it out. And, I think if it was over a longer tournament, you'd probably try to make a bigger deal of it. But through a short tournament, the teams that limit the excuses they make are probably the teams that are probably going to have more success.
That's a good way to put it. Jake Moore says, I want to see Jake Binnington flip out. There's a chance. And we didn't even touch on the goalie situation with Toronto, with Canada. Jake Binnington getting the start.
Jordan Binnington.
What'd I say?
Jake.
Donkey. You absolute donkey, Josh. Get it together. No, but I mean, I wouldn't read too much into the goalie situation, right? Canada's goalie situation's bad. Look at the team in front of them. No,
and look, I mean, how many goalies out there are considered elite when you really think about it, right? I mean, Connor Hellebuck's one of them. Shesterkin's another one of them. When you look at a goalie that you can feel confident in saying, that guy in there can win me a game and maybe win me a series and maybe win me a Stanley Cup, I would say maybe there's a handful of them. Everybody else, they're kind of above average, and you just got to hope that in the moment, like this tournament is, they find a way to bring their best game. And if you can get their best game in 1 game or 2 games or 3 games, every goalie's had those stretches. You just hope that they find a way to have it now.
Jake Moore says David Ayers can go in and we'd still have a shot.
Maybe.
I like it. Covers the account saying, I'm going to Montreal.
Ooh.
I know. Should be exciting.
Nice.
Yeah, for the Saturday game. So we'll be on the boots on the ground. We'll be there.
Boots on the ground.
Never been to the Bell Center.
Buddy. 2 things. Okay.
Yeah.
Shen shows, hot dogs. You got to have them.
Steamy stuff. Let's go.
And get ready for the place to be loud.
That's it. Those are the 2 things I've heard. Yes.
Yeah.
And go to Schwartz's.
Oh, Schwartz's Deli, 100%. Man.
Yeah.
Smoked meat sandwich. Yes. And try the poutine. It's amazing.
So we're scheduled to do hot dogs, like a little run. Some hot dogs, poutine, pizza, and then Schwartz's, all like in a row. Bang, bang, bang. And then there's right after that, that's the NHL party at 11 o'clock.
Oy.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I'll
Make sure you hit the bathroom before you go to the
garlic breath, just a slob, probably pizza all over me.
Nice.
Oh, God. Hey, we got Olympic hockey. We got international hockey. It's an exciting night. It's Wednesday. Like
I said, I'm pumping myself up to be excited, and I hope I stay excited. I'd be really disappointed if I, wake up the next day and be like, oh man, that was a waste. So we'll see.
I know that's where I am too. Just don't hurt me. Don't hurt me for Nathan. All right, plays are in. We'll see how things go, and then we're back tomorrow with Finland, USA. NHL Puck Props presented by Sports Interaction. I'm Josh Ingles. He's Carlo Colaiacovo. Thank you, pumpers. We'll see you back here tomorrow.
Ciao.